the start of a new era for Brazilian football. Gone is Mario Zagallo, gone the dreams of retaining the World Cup, and gone, hopefully, by the end of this match, in the eyes of those supporters, the memories of the disappointment or humiliation, in the words of the Brazilians, of that World Cup final defeat. Well, the under new management flags fly in the Brazilian camp, with Vanderlei Luxemburgo taking over from Mario Zagallo, and the changes have been rung in the side. Only 3 members of the World Cup squad, Cafu, Rivaldo and Denilson, named in the squad for this game. 11 uncapped players, several making their debut, and names to look out for including Marcelino Carioca. He's nicknamed Angelfoot. He's the top scorer for Corinthians. Alongside me, Jerry Armstrong. Jerry, Luxemburgo has to start somewhere, and he is starting by stamping his own personality on this team.
He certainly is, and I think you can see straight away he's going for a lot of homegrown players. I know there's several of the more established players like Roberto Carlos and Ronaldo who are not available, but even so, it's a drastic change, and one wonders, has he made the right choice?
Milan Zivadinovic is the new man in charge of Yugoslavia, who got to the second phase of France 98. They got past the group that included the USA and Iran, and they lost to Holland. The referee is Sidrak Marinho, and he is a Brazilian. And Yugoslavia, in the blue shirts and white shorts, are about to get it underway. A new era in Brazilian football starts in front of a huge crowd, 60,000 plus on this estimate, and important for the Yugoslavs as well. And we're underway in an early Negus. Ball is knocked forward to Miroslav Đukić. But a lot will hang on this for Brazil, because they've got a very disillusioned public who need to be won over. And the only way they're going to win them over is to perform in the next 90 minutes. Felipe back to Cléber. And now for Vampeta, as Brazil playing from right to left as we look, bid to set the tempo from the start. Slaviša Jokanović for Yugoslavia, and a touch for Ivica Kralj. Well, these two are old rivals, but the Yugoslavs, certainly amongst the teams in Europe, capable of, with the flair, of really worrying a South American outfit.
They are a very, very talented side. 9 of the squad, Mike, are actually based in Spain. They are a side that's been together much, much longer than the Brazilian side. It's more or less a new look Brazil side, and I'm really looking forward to see how they cope, because technically I think the Yugoslavians are probably just as good as this Brazilian team.
This is Vampeta has the stopping role at the back for Brazil. Now for Felipe from Vasco da Gama, one of the new men brought in by the new coach Luxemburgo. Look, of course, for Rivaldo and Denilson up front. The free kick is given Yugoslavia's way, and then penalised is Zoran Niegas of Atletico Madrid. And the Brazilians will push several men forward here. There are 5 of them in all. Vampeta's joined the attack, but no problem at all for Ivica Kralj of Porto. And Cafu of Roma is the captain of the Brazil side. But this is Stanković for Yugoslavia. Savo Milosevic needs no introduction, of course. Aston Villa ex. Now Stanković again. And he went down under an illegal challenge, says the referee, by the Brazilian captain Cafu.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that free kick, Mike. And Stanković is a player with a great left foot who's impressed me a lot last season with Mallorca, and one of the players for the future for Yugoslavian football.
Well, they've got 5 in the box for this one. And the header coming in from Đorović. The referee's given the free kick. Here it is again.
Well, the interesting thing for me is that Đorović has come in at the back completely unmarked. Mike, you can see there's 2 blue shirts and he's come in completely unmarked and got a free header, and I didn't actually see a push there. I thought that was a fair challenge.
Cafu, Brazil. I suspect are under pressure. They're playing this game not in the Rio de Janeiro home where they have played so many of their matches, but they wanted to bring the game to the north, to São Luís. That in turn has put them under a different sort of pressure, and this is Vampeta. Has a keenly important role in the back division. And now for Jokanović for Yugoslavia. This is Niegas trying to build the space, and the tackle by his opposite number Felipe, and Yugoslavia have the throw. Niegas of Atletico Madrid, and won by Marcelino Carioca, and here they come forward once more with Cafu, and that's a nice ball, and the free kick against Marcelino for the foul on Grozdic. Yugoslavia, who have their minds on qualification for Euro 2000, and they play in a group that includes Croatia and the Republic of Ireland, and that's going to be very interesting indeed. We've also got in the group Macedonia and Malta, but maybe they won't be that involved. This is Marcelino, and Grozdic doing the fouling this time.
He looks a bit lively, doesn't he, Carioca? Very quick feet, got his body in well, won the free kick, and it looked like Miroslav Djukic that gave it away.
Corinthians, the club where he plays, is also the club under the coaching skills of Vanderlei Luxemburgo. He's kept the 2 jobs. That's Milan Badinovic, who is the new coach of the Yugoslavs. Got a 2-year contract to take them to the finals of Euro 2000. But no problem for Kralj in goal. Expect to see quite a lot of substitutions. Kralj given the nod over at Dragan Zilic. Djukic, and the interception by Petrovic, looking for Milosevic on the charge, and André quickly coming out. Number of big names rested by Brazil, including of course Roberto Carlos, currently under suspension in Spain for a red card. But this is Stankovic. Likes to get to know the left touchline, does the Yugoslav number 11. Grozdic, not a good ball either. And the tackle came in from Niegas. And a lot of pushing and shoving going on. But the Yugoslavs have come away with Grozdic with the ball. Here he is again. And he was looking to find Milosevic, and he has found Milosevic. And Milosevic has put Yugoslavia in front. A great ball from Grozdic, and Milosevic helped himself over the advancing keeper. And the whole atmosphere inside the stadium is changed. Yugoslavia lead 1-0.
Well, what a super ball from Grozdic, and we've seen him play before for Obelik, Mike, in the early season. That's a superb chip from Savo Milosevic, you know, and he's gone straight through the middle. He's lost his marker, and that's a superb finish. What a start to the game, and what a start for Yugoslavia.
Savo shows the know-how.
Quality, Mike. That was a quality chip, and we know he's a good finisher.
Milosevic now with Zaragoza. And Brazil a goal down after just 6 minutes here. Fine four-man move. To say, Yugoslavia are not here simply to make the numbers up. This is Cléber for Antonio Carlos, for the captain Cafu. And he's given it away. This is Jokanović back for Yugoslavia to try and build another attack. Stanković had got Mijatovic outside him. Back to Grozdic. And some nice balls that they're playing, the Yugoslavs, down that left side. And at the moment, Cafu and friends having a real problem. Knocks off Grozdic, and he's got plenty of food for thought. Luxemburgo as well. Trying to find Stanković, but now Brazil have won it at last. Maybe they can do something with this. Cafu looking for an option. Found only figure of Denilson. Now, opportunity knocks. The ball's been played towards Felipe. There's the cross. And Yugoslavia make the clearance, leading by 1-0. Rivaldo trying to plough his way into a channel that was rather congested. Sakić. Yugoslavia lead 1-0 in São Luís, and Brazil been really shaken. Deep depression hung over the country after the World Cup. Now they'll try and make a way through, and a great chance, a good save. That was the first real chance. It was Marcelinho'Zoran, and Kralj has done well. A nice ball by Denilson.
Well, it's a great ball from Denilson, and I think he should have done better than that, Mike. The goalkeeper's on his way down, spreading himself, and if he just lifts it over his body, it's got to go into the net. But this is much better from Brazil, because Yugoslavia have been looking comfortable up until that point, Mike.
And they have a free kick, the Yugoslavs.
Yeah, it looks like an offside decision, and they've played that quite well with Djukic organising the defence. Has pushed up very, very well.
Nenad Sakić of Sampdoria Geneva. There's the effort again. It was a wonderful ball by Denilson. And angel foot, Marcelinho'Zoran.
Denilson's not renowned for his right foot, but it was his right foot that threaded that pass through. And just feel Carioca could have done better on that, Mike, and should certainly have scored.
That's a better one from the more realistic left foot of Denilson. Target is Müller. Vampeta. Square for Marcos Assunção, who takes over. Rivaldo. Number 5, Marcos Assunção again. This is nice close passing by Brazil, but it hasn't actually got them anywhere. Now Felipe. Nice ball back in. Denilson. It's not the Brazil way we are used to seeing 40-yard passes hit back. And the free kick, or the challenge, not to the referee's liking, by Petrovic. Cléber. Vampeta looks for his options here. Antonio Carlos. And the ball through once more. Good save for the second time of asking by Kralj, but the flag was up anyway. as Rivaldo burst through.
Well, you can see from that shot, Mike, he's just a yard offside. The linesman's absolutely correct. And just starting to put the passes together, Brazil. I'm starting to get impressed with them. And this is a very new-look Brazilian side. And obviously, it's going to take a little while for them to gel, but they're starting to look good now.
Yugoslavia have the one in the bank, though. And this is Marcos Assunção. Denilson, Müller wide on the right. Now the chance perhaps for Cafu, the captain, to put a decent ball in the box. It's not a bad ball in the box either. And it's gone over the top from Denilson. And he really should have got close to that.
Well, what a great ball in from Cafu, in between the defenders and the goalkeeper. And Denilson, totally unmarked, he's just got to hit the target. He's leaning back and he puts it high and over the crossbar. What a miss and what a let-off for Yugoslavia.
And what a cross by the captain. That's the real example. And what food for thought for Wanderlei Luxemburgo. Doesn't matter whether it's club, country or whatever. So important to make a winning start. He's given the free kick, which I must confess surprised me. I didn't see anything wrong with that. But the referee's given the free kick. Now what is going on here? It's Marcelino Carioca almost positioning it in rugby style.
Well,
I must say I'm mystified what he's given this for. But now
it looked like the initial challenge, Mike. He was trying to
things
advantage
in training from free kicks, Carioca, and he's tried something else from a free kick. Agonisingly wide. I think a lot of this young man, and as I say, he placed it with sort of rugby precision, as if he was going to try and convert somebody's try. Wasn't far away, was it?
It did everything. It dipped, it curled. And you're right, it wasn't far away.
The one-release man in Kralj. Felipe. Quarter of an hour gone. And the script certainly not being read at all. Rivaldo, that's a lovely ball. Still Rivaldo. Still Rivaldo. And the referee's given the free kick. But to me, he played the ball, the Yugoslav. I didn't see anything wrong with that either. Well, you thought, but Rivaldo, to me, look at this.
Well, he's gone
played
past
the ball,
two.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gone past two, but I think he was trying to give him the advantage. And let's have a look here. Is there a challenge? Well, you're right, Mike. I don't think there was an awful lot wrong with that.
So Marcelino Carioca is going to have another go. Got this amazing act again. And Kralj is having to direct operations. There are 4 men in the Yugoslav wall. Carioca and Cafu discussing it. He's now disappeared. It will be Carioca's right foot, I would have thought. Possibly Denilson's left foot. Seems to be the option. But Carioca is stepping up to take it and scores an absolute beauty. Tremendous goal by the youngster. And he deceived the whole lot of them. Luxemburgo delighted with his young prodigy. But the free kick hit with amazing accuracy. Look at this.
It's a good free kick, Mike, but the goalkeeper, what's the keeper? He's anticipating it's going to be put over the top of the wall, and he just starts to sidestep that direction, and he's totally wrong-footed. And it's in the far corner of the net.
Well, Cléber was the decoy. And there are about 6 Yugoslavs charged with deception because they all got deceived by it. So Marcelino Carioca has tied it up at 1-1. To my money, the Yugoslavs could well say why was the free kick given. But none of this crowd mind that, because Brazil have levelled it at 1-1. Mijatovic, and that's suddenly raised Brazil Müller against Grozdic. What a start for this young man from Corinthians. Marcelino karaoke. And they started the karaoke from karaoke. What a free kick.
There's a happy man.
Two happy men. We've had to tell each other so. The crowd celebrate, but there's still a lot to do. Stankovic's throw for Yugoslavia. It's 1-1. Milosevic for the Yugoslavs and Karaoke for Brazil, the marksman in this friendly. And it's been a well-balanced game so far. And this is Jokanović for Yugoslavia. Fed for Đorović. And Niegas tackled by Felipe. I say, the decision to come here to São Luís was one that was supposed to see the start of a new era, but this pitch doesn't look the best that I've seen in international football.
It looks too long. It looks too long to me, the grass, Mike, and the ball's actually holding up a few times, and it's tested the first touch, but there's a lot of technical players on the pitch who can cope with that.
One of them is Petrovic in possession. Here's his cross. But it's too near André of Internacional. Another of the new blood brought into this Brazilian side by Luxemburgo. Rivaldo's tackle. Felipe for Marcos Assunção. Cafu. Marcos Assunção again. Milosevic, the Yugoslav goal scorer. Niegas. And the challenge unfair by Cléber. On Milosevic.
I don't think Milosevic was too impressed with that one, Mike, was he?
No, it was no question of any other decision bar a free kick. And the bounce has favoured him as well. To the referee, but the fact the whistle had gone. And Mijatovic came in, but the free kick quickly awarded. Let's have another look at this goal. The decoy of Cléber. Distraction. It's a bit like a distraction burglary, isn't it? Cléber was the distraction.
I still feel the goalkeeper's at fault for trying to anticipate it, Mike.
Now, it's that man Karaoke again. He's done well. The challenge was firm and ruled fair by the referee from Goran Đorović.
Well, he's gone for it. It was
Grozdic who came across. Looks similar from up here. Still, no, Yugoslavia not going to be the cannon fodder. Niegas versus Felipe, and he's got the cross in, Niegas, and the important header just as opportunity knocks. Denilson. And the combined challenge from Đorović and Stanković, denying him another opportunity. A lot of weight on these senior players. I know that there are one or two others that we mentioned earlier that are being rested, but however good the youngsters are, they're going to need a little bit of leadership and a little bit of international know-how. This is Felipe, one of those youngsters. And the cross from Carioca and the clearance into the path of Stanković. They've got an important part to play, Jerry.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's why I was a bit surprised that there's only 3 established players in the side. But, you know, so far I've been quite impressed. There's been some decent performances put in by players that we've not heard of before. Cléber and Carlos have done quite well in the middle. Certainly Felipe, and for me, Caracao looks a fantastic player. Müller on the right-hand side's a bit quick and nippy. Cafu hasn't pushed forward as much as we expect him to do. He's very much an attacking fullback, and he hasn't pushed forward that much.
This is Niegas. He didn't get it in the end because it fell for Rivaldo. And now the charge once more, and the clearance by Đorović, conceding the throw to Brazil. Cafu. We still have this wonderful short passing, but every so often it breaks down. Milosevic. Credit by Mijatovic, and immediately in comes the robbery. Denilson. It's a very poor ball from Rivaldo. They're fairly quiet, aren't they?
Well, the game was exciting for the first 20-25 minutes, and it's just gone through a spell where both sides have seemed to slow the tempo down a little bit. Some misplaced passes, particularly from Rivaldo, which we didn't expect there because he's got a great left foot.
And the free kick for another foul on Carioca. And a yellow card for Grostic for the challenge. It's a nothing challenge to my eyes.
Looks as if he actually got part of the ball there. Didn't look too much malice in that one for me.
Now, a corner is the decision, as once again Carioca threatens. Stanković not in the mood to take chances. And Brazil's set plays have hardly had an airing in this match so far. Müller is the man marked on the near post by Đorović, and the clearance. Marcos Assunção commits the foul, pushing the back on Mijatovic. And that's a Brazil throw. Now maybe. Denilson twists and turns. Now that's not a bad cross, is it? Nobody in the box to get on the end of it. Rivaldo. Tackled by Mijatovic for Jokanović. Mijatovic once more. Lovely change of direction, but surely taken on more than he can chew. Even though it was the last man, Vampeta, that came in. This was a glorious cross. Got round the defender. Sakić left him on the seat of his pants really superbly. But it wasn't enough in the end. Jokanović for Yugoslavia in this friendly in Sao Luis, level at 1-1. Mijatovic still going. Now Brazil charge forward again. Vampeta has played the ball in for Carioca. This time he's drawn Đukić out to challenge. Here come Brazil once more. And the Yugoslavs take the pressure off with Jovan Stanković of Real Mallorca. And he's won a free kick. He's a lively little so-and-so, isn't he?
Yes, and he's got, now after his first 5 or 6 minutes when he did really well down the left-hand flank, he's got 2 players facing him each time. And it's going to be difficult for him to get down that line now. But Brazil's just starting to force their authority on the game. Some super play. Cafu's pushing forward. Funny, when we mentioned about him not pushing on, and he's pushed on the last 5 or 6 minutes. He's pushed on twice, Mike, and they're starting to look a little bit of a force, and Yugoslavia will do well to hold them.
Mijatović. Niegas. Nice ball back in as well. Now, what's come forward? Only Savo Milosevic, and at the second attempt, he's played it straight back into the waiting, welcoming arms of André.
This clever play from Mijatović, and a super ball in.
Sakić. Niegas of Atletico Madrid. Milosevic, the goal scorer. And the free kick is given, as is the yellow card, the fouler Antônio Carlos.
Well, it's a great play from Mijatović, and Milosevic has got his nutmeg and he's away clear. And here you see him coming across, and he's just wrapped his legs around him, and it's desperation there. But you've got to remember there's a lot of inexperience in this Brazilian side, and Yugoslavia at times are showing some great skill and flair, Mike, and another opportunity for the test of goalkeeper.
So we've played half an hour, level at 1-1 in scores, and we all know the last time that anybody had an attacking free kick, what happened. Marcelino Carioca sent this vast crowd into raptures. Now this time, no problems for André whatever from Petrovic's strike. Really wasn't a very good one. And Brazil quickly trying to turn defence into attack with Cafu. Denilson had gone forward, and Denilson has won a free kick for pushing, says the referee. Who unusually, I have to say, for a game of international standard, comes from just up the road. Cléber for Marcos Assunção. Felipe. Cléber. Antônio Carlos. And again. Still to see some of the great Brazil passing and patience, but the real test, Jerry's going to come up front, isn't it?
Absolutely, but I'm looking at Denilson. He's not really playing on the left-hand side. He's been on the right-hand side. He's been in the middle. He's not really disciplined at the moment, and I'd like to see him stretch the Yugoslavian defence a little bit more and play down this left flank. Leave the right-hand flank to Cafu and Müller, and see if we can get Rivaldo pushed forward a little bit more.
And they're trying to do just that. This is Denilson. Cléber. Marcos Assunção. And once more, this young man, Marcelino Carioca. And there is another card. And the man who collects it this time is Miroslav Đukić. Man with something of a unique place in Spanish league history. The man who missed the penalty and cost Deportivo La Coruña a league title, I seem to recall.
That's absolutely correct. But what a fantastic piece of skill. I must say I've been impressed with Caracao. It's the first time I've seen him, and he looks superb. Quick feet, prepared to run at defenders, and he's a handful. He really is, and he must be really up for it now after the last free kick he he scored from. Do you fancy he's going to have another crack?
Or is it going to be either him or Rivaldo, I would have thought, but this time Rivaldo with his left foot is considering his options. It's almost a Denilson possibility. Got 5 men in the wall, but this is potentially, crucially, 10-15 yards further away. Oh, he's hit the bar. What a marvellous free kick again. And the set piece routine almost working from guess who. Amazing this.
What a free kick over the wall. When we talk about free kicks, you think of Brazilians, and that's what you think of. It's Rivaldo over the top of the wall, and he's hit a tremendous effort off the crossbar. What a strike from Rivaldo. Oh.
Well, it remains 1-1, but only just. Rouse the crowd as we move into the closing stages of the first half in São Luís. Brazil 1, Yugoslavia 1 it remains, but Brazil have played some nice stuff, and Yugoslavia perhaps a touch fortunate to be all square. This is Niegas. And Milosevic, who I suspect is going to have to put ice in about 12 different places on his knees and legs after the way he's been treated. I've heard of hand sneeze and boomsy daisy, but really. Cafu. Look at the ever-eager Marcelino Carioca, who'd come back to help if he was needed. He wasn't. Antonio Carlos for Brazil. 10 minutes of the first half remain. Stanković. Again Milosevic the target. Again Antonio Carlos the defender. Felipe. Vampeta, and he's got an opportunity again, and another good save from the goalkeeper, and Kralj has made 2 very good saves. This one to deny another clear opportunity from Rivaldo.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity for Rivaldo. I was just saying I wanted him to push forward a little bit more, but Kralj has earned his corner there. He's made a very good save. Felt Rivaldo could have possibly placed it a little bit further away from him, but nonetheless he's forced to save from the goalkeeper. And you're right, Mike, Brazil should be in front. They've had 2 or 3 very good opportunities and should be at least a goal or 2 in front at the moment.
Sakić. It's small. Milosevic went one way, the ball went the other. Marcelino Carioca for captain Cafu. Carioca's gone looking for the return. Enough men in support. Rivaldo. Marcos Assunção. Cafu kept it in. Got past the challenge of Stanković, did he? Yes, he did. Now there could be something on here. The referee's given the free kick the way of Yugoslavia. Cafu accepts it. The crowd less than happy.
Well, I think it was a free kick, and I think Stanković has done well. He's got his body in and Cafu's fouled him, but it's very, very important that we can see in the last 20 minutes Cafu's really started to push forward, Mike, and he's causing lots of problems down the right-hand side.
Well, it was the Yugoslavs who had supremacy down that flank in the first half. Or first half hour, I should say, through Stanković. Now they've got to look for other ways round. And this is Niegas trying to get into a position to play the ball in. The clearance finds once again Carioca. Really has been easily the most impressive player in this first half so far. Denilson, beautifully done. The sort of skills the crowd love. The cross was too deep though. But Vampeta has kept it in. And now on the overlap, it's drilled in and finally concedes the corner. Does the Yugoslav centre-half, Miroslav Đukić, but that was a wonderful piece of skill.
Nutmeg straight through his legs, and he's really given him a torrid time now. Sakić doesn't know which way to go, but Danielson's on song, and really, they're turning on the style. They're really turning on the style, Mike.
And the header away was by Petrovic, who'd come back to help out. Oh. And they've manning the pumps at the back at the moment. As you say, Yugoslavia a touch, if not more so, fortunate to be 1-1 and on level terms, but that foul on Danielson by Jokanović has set it up for you-know-who. And it's an almost identical position.
It is. It looks like it's a right-footed player's going to have a go, although our friend Rivaldo's going to stand over the top of it with him just to try and give the goalkeeper a few problems. They've got a left-footed striker and a right-footed striker. But you're right, I think it's got to be Karakau. Can he repeat the dose?
Karaoke by name. Let's see what he can do with this one. And again, the decoy man is in the wall, Cléber. Oh, this time there wasn't enough height, and Đukić got an important header to clear the danger. But again, the goalkeeper was behind the wall, and there was an area of exposure if the ball had been hit right. Danielson, for his options, it's Karaoke once more, and the ball played forward now for Cafu down that flank, but across comes Jovan Stanković. That's a goal kick. Cafu, who plays his football in Italy, as we see once again a moment that our colleagues in Brazilian television have clearly enjoyed. Few graphics and all.
He'll want to see it a few times again, Mike. That's one for the scrapbook. But very impressive first half from Karaoke, and actually I've got to say I've been very impressed with Brazil, although Yugoslavia have certainly made it a very entertaining game.
Đukić then for Yugoslavia. But there has been a lot of stoppages as well. Have been times it hasn't really flowed. Danielson this time doing the dirty on Sakić.
Not for the first time as well.
Jokanović for Sakić once more. But the interesting thing is, if you notice, is that Sakić has gone to that far side to try and calm Cafu, and across the other side has come Đorović to join Niegas in trying to make attacks down the left flank, but this time they failed to do so, and it's Cléber on the charge for Brazil. Vampeta of Corinthians, and another free kick. Milosevic, this time sinner rather than sinned.
Yes, he's got a hold of his shirt there. And Vampeta, who's been the anchor man in midfield, just starting to push forward as well. I think Brazil are really turning the screws now, Mike.
Well, they've got just a couple of minutes in this half to try and do something before the break. And more whistle. It's time for the flag. And, well, Karaoke the man. And Cléber, Antônio Carlos, Vampeta going to Brazil. Conceded by Grozdic. Is there time for one last movement in this half to put Brazil in front where they deserve to be? It's an important challenge by Marcus Assunção on the Yugoslav captain Predrag Mijatović. Jukic, Niegas, and again now for Petrovic. Will it open up for him? He tried to find Milosevic, and he's gone down, and nothing's been given by the referee.
I wouldn't mind seeing that one again, Mike.
Neither would I.
That looked very much like it could have been a penalty kick.
Referee is calling for the ball back, but let's have another look at this. It's Cléber on Jokanović. Well,
it's not conclusive, that one, for me, but I think Predrag Mijatović thought it was a penalty kick, and he was much closer to it than we were.
And that's the man in possession, Cléber, who got away with that challenge. Jokanović for Niegas again. Straight into Felipe. And straight in to the advancing figure of Mijatović. Nobody forward to complete it. 1 minute to be played by way of extra time at the interval. And this man, Marcelinho'Zoran, is the one they're talking about. Savo Milosevic. And Brazil on the charge again. Müller. And the ball in and cleared by Jukic. Just before he could reach the man at the far post. Look at this again.
What a great ball in, Mike. Again, tempting in between the defenders and the goalkeeper, and almost forced an own goal, but it was our friend Carioca who was looking at the back post for that.
Well, the corner they've resulted in, and this surely is the final chance for somebody in this first half to do something. And the header skywards by Grozdic, the catch by Kralj, and at half-time we're level at 1-1. Brazil coming from behind. Savo Milosevic on 6 minutes leading for Yugoslavia. Brazil equalising with a wonderful free kick by Marcelino Carioca. Half-time Brazil 1, Yugoslavia 1. We're level at 1-1, and Yugoslavia have made a double substitution. They've changed the goalkeeper, where Dragan Zilic has come on. And they've also got a change at the back. I'll check that in a second. In fact, down the right side, I see no sign of Zoran Niegas, but Brazil with Cafu will try and make the early running. It's 1-1, and this is Carioca, tackled by number 7 Grozdic. Plays for Obilic in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And the foul by Antonio Carlos. And indeed it is Zoran Niegas that's disappeared, and the man who's come on to replace him is number 14, Albert Naj. So a double switch by the Yugoslav coach Milan Zdravinovic. Brazil are as they were. This is Cafu. And if the opportunity presents itself, Brazil will need to increase the tempo. There is the substitute, Albert Naj, who has indeed replaced Niegas, as we've spotted. Here's an interesting challenge from number 3, Đorović, on number 9, Müller. And there is confirmation that Kralj has been replaced by Dragan Zilic of Vojvodina. So Brazil will have the free kick.
Well, you can see there he's just gone straight down the back of his standing leg, and I think he's fortunate not to get a yellow card for that, Đorović.
I want to see questionable decisions by the referee in the first half. He kept his cards in his pocket then. Valmeda playing the ball forward and away by Jukic. And here is the substitute, Naj, who's gone down the right side. Seems to be adopting a similar sort of role to Niegas. There he is again. Now for Jokanović. Jukic. Naj. Petrovic. And the ball played in towards Milosevic, but no real problems. Grozdic. And the Yugoslavs certainly haven't come here just to make the numbers up. Grozdic, that's the free kick against Marcos Assunção for that challenge on Mijatovic.
Clever piece of play to win the free kick, Mike, wasn't it? And they're passing the ball around really well now, Yugoslavia.
Grozdic was in on that, but the Brazilians come away. And Denilson, once again, the man who's trying to set the opportunity up. This is Müller, laid back for Carioca, who's gone for the return. Didn't get it, but it was an important block, and this is Grozdic for Yugoslavia. Petrovic. I think it's fair to say that as this second half wears on, both teams will try and experiment, but Mijatovic's shot is over the top. Expect to see several players swap and change, and the 2 Yugoslav substitutes at the interval unlikely to be the last. And the free kick, or the foul on Rivaldo. And the foul was on Carioca. And Grozdic has been sent off. He's been sent off for the challenge. The Yugoslav players surround the referee. But let's look at this.
He hasn't touched him. Well, that's unbelievable. He hasn't touched him.
Well, I find that quite incredible. I thought the referee got the free kick decision wrong in the first half. And that is really quite scandalous to send a man off for that.
Well, he's gone to ground and straight away, and I think because it's Carioca as well, who's the darling of the crowd, Mike, the referee's reacted straight away, but it's going to spoil the game as a contest now.
Well, the Brazilian FA didn't bring in a referee from another part of the world, and they earned some criticism in the build-up to this game. And now, like it or not, Sidrak Marinho has become the central figure in this match.
When you think of some of the stick that Milosevic has had to take and Mijatovic in the first half, the 2 centre-halves from Brazil, and you look at that challenge, it's got Nenad Grozdic sent off. I just can't believe it.
They talk about the need for professional referees, they talk about relations between players and officials, but these pictures are being seen around the world and they only serve to bring the art of refereeing into disrepute. It's a really scandalous decision.
Very, very bad. No consolation for Grozdic though. He looks very, very disgruntled as he walks back to the dressing room now, Mike.
So Brazil are level at 1-1, but they have a man advantage. This is Felipe. Can they make the man advantage count? Denilson outside him. And the twist and turn certainly produced a major talking point though, this game now. Vampeta. Milosevic has come very deep. Mijatovic. Maybe that will rouse the Yugoslavs to take their anger out on Brazil. And the flag denying Milosevic that opportunity. And to be fair, having called the early decision scandalous, let us make quite clear that decision is the correct one.
It's pretty tight, but it looks like he's just about got it right. But I've been impressed with Milosevic and Mijatovic tonight, Mike, because their work rate up front, the two of them have really worked non-stop and have contributed a lot to the Yugoslavian performance.
Mr. Nilsson, tested by Sakić. I just wonder whether he might consider a substitution or two under the Luxemburgo. Right now, his team surely have seen the pendulum swing their way. Yugoslavia holding on well, a man down, remember, and Nenad has taken the throw. And André, the referees ruled the throws the other way, so all that labour was in vain. Vampeta. Cafu, happy to do at his captain's behest and as his captain's behest and dance forward. Felipe looks so comfortable on the ball, doesn't he? It's played back for Cléber. And another free kick. And that's the other thing that's disappointed. There's been no real attempt to let this game flow. It is a friendly when all's said and done.
Well, I don't know if you give that for a dangerous player, for Rivaldo's actually touched it with his hand.
But the fact was Yugoslavia had possession.
Yes.
Milosevic. 55 minutes gone. Brazil 1, Yugoslavia 1. Oof. And look at that challenge. Milosevic has gone down under a challenge from Cléber. And eventually he does get the yellow card.
I think that's the fourth time Kléber's actually hit him, and he's gone straight down the outside of his left foot.
And Darko Kovacevic has been sent to warm up.
I'm not surprised.
And I have a funny feeling that Mr. Milosevic's afternoon is coming towards a conclusion.
He's taken a battering today, Mike. I wonder if John Gregory actually sent some instructions out to the Brazilian players. He really has taken a hammering today.
And the referee is saying that that is a challenge on a par with Grozdic's. And there is the inevitable substitution. Kovacevic replaces Milosevic, who has not had the protection that I think he should have had from the referee.
Well, if you look at some of the other challenges, Mike, you're absolutely right. I think it's taken 3 or 4 challenges before a yellow card's actually been given out to the two centre halves, and Savo Milosevic is probably pleased to get off. He's actually saying to the referee that's not the first time he's hit me. And Darko Kovacevic, who plays for Real Sociedad, is going to take his place, and he's a lively character. He's very good in the air. Top goal scorer for Real Sociedad last year.
Had a spot of bother in a recent Spanish league game, I seem to recall. Without wishing to draw too much of a issue with it.
Yes.
I think this is his last game for a little while, because he won't be playing too many Spanish league games in the next couple of weeks.
Suspension looms.
Yes. Cléber, the man who was yellow carded, starting another Brazilian attack. Felipe. Marcos Assunção. Marcelino Carioca. Cafu. Vampeta. To Angel Foot, Marcel Carioca, whose goal equalised for Brazil. Cafu is brought down by Kovacevic. In fact, it was by the player behind him, Stanković, and it's a free kick to Brazil. And you worry that this game might go off the boil. Brazil at the moment unable to make the man advantage and the home support count at all. They've got all those substitutes warming up. Seguino, Rogerio and Alex, but so far Luxemburgo has resisted the temptation. Cafu and Stanković doing enough.
He's worked well tonight, Stanković. He's actually played more of a defensive role than an attacking role in the last 20-25 minutes, but I've been impressed with him, and he's done a good job for the team tonight.
Carioca again trying to get the ball forward. Denilson denied, and now Jugoslavia are on the charge, and the target is Kovacevic, and the corner is conceded by Cléber. And it's getting a little bit nasty out there. Denilson, I don't think, was inquiring of the Yugoslav defence what they were going to do by way of a drink after the match. And we're going to see Crystal Palace's Sasa Krčić imminently, I think. As the ball from the corner is cleared by André. And Petrovic, good clearance by André, because that was a lovely ball in, made the goalkeeper work. And the final ball from Jokanović, slightly disappointing, but this is a lovely run.
It's great play. As Petrovic's cross comes in, it's a good save from the goalkeeper, and I think it's finished off by Predrag Mijatovic, who should really have hit the target, but good counter-attack football from Yugoslavia. I think under the circumstances that's all they're going to be able to do now, Mike.
Jokanović. Petrovic. And Brazil's man advantage not really being allowed to count. And they do seem as though, they lack a little bit of leadership out on that pitch. Jokanović, whereas the leadership Yugoslavia needed, I think, possibly came from the referee's decision, which from up here looked an absolute shocker. This is an opportunity anyway. Djokovic for Jokanović. Marcos Assunção for Marcelino Carioca. Well, they do seem to have gone off the boil.
Well, Carioca's gone very quiet, Müller's gone quiet, and I think you're right, and I'm just looking at the substitutes warming up, and I think Luxemburgo has decided he wants to make a few changes, Mike. And I suppose if you've got a friendly match as such, it's the opportunity to experiment.
And he made quite clear when he was talking yesterday that there was no way that the same 11 would be on from the start to the finish. And this is Marcelinho'Zoran against Sakić. And the Yugoslav has done well. Karioka took his legs. For me, in the way the referee's been officiating, that should be a yellow card. He just took his legs.
I think it was accidental, but you're right, Mike. I know what you're saying. And I think the referee's made a rod for his own back. I think the Brazilian Federation have made a rod for their own back by actually appointing a Brazilian referee in the first place. But
because that is the third time he's done it, remember?
Yeah.
I think whatever you say about international football and international referees, the one complaint that you get any time you talk to an international is they just want consistency. That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
And they know where they stand. Jokanović away. And here come Brazil once more. Stanković robbed Rivaldo, and this is the captain of Brazil, Cafu, into the path of Müller. Djukic, Mijatović, oh, what a player this boy is. He's gone for the return as well, and the corner was it conceded by Antonio Carlos. Certainly had an all-action contribution, hasn't he, Marcelinho'Zoran? Yugoslavia have brought 5 players forward, including Kovacevic, and the ball finally headed over by Jokanović at the far post, as we thought that it might be the short one, but that was an opportunity.
Well, the goalkeeper André's all it's saying. Petrovic's corner is a superb in-swinging ball to the far post, and Jokanović has got to score. He's got to hit the target, and it's in the back of the net. He's got a free header there, Mike, and what an opportunity has just been missed by Yugoslavia.
And the substitute, Nenad, has put that one over the top. There isn't the same fire about Brazil as there was in the first half, is there?
You're right, they've taken their foot off the pedal, and some of them look a little bit subdued, maybe a little bit tired. I don't understand why, but the pace of the game's gone out of it for Brazil, and the 10 men are actually playing better.
I see that Serginho is warming up, and maybe he might be the man to add a little bit of something, because Brazil need it. That's a Brazil throw. Jackson is also perhaps preparing for action. There's so many yellow shirts, it's impossible to tell who's nearly ready to come on and who's just trying to keep warm. And Nilsson got a blow. Just an undercurrent has been running in this game in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Jokanović. Well, look at this from Nilsson. And the hand was by Stanković. It was momentum. What did you make of that?
I think he put his arm up, Stanković put his arm up to block him off, and he caught him just underneath the chin around the throat. So obviously the referee didn't see that one, otherwise he would have given it, Mike.
As I say, a question of what was malicious and what was a question of self-preservation. Mijatović again. Forcing Nenad to go chasing. And he's kept the ball in play. Felipe's gone back to defend. Marcos Assunção is across there as well. And the ball in. André comes to get it before Cléber. As we reach the midway point in the second half in São Luís. Brazil 1, Yugoslavia 1. Savo Milosevic, Yugoslavia's goal after 6 minutes. A wonderful free kick equaliser from Carioca after 17. And the big talking point, the sending off of Nenad Grozdic 5 minutes into the second half by the Brazilian referee, which appeared to be one of the worst decisions I've seen this season. A view that my colleague Jerry Armstrong is not in the mood to disagree with. Denilson. Rivaldo's almost been asleep in this half, and the pushing and shoving, and the clearance was by Jokanović. And Brazil have lost their way. They're just playing a series of aimless balls and getting nothing in particular. Kovacevic. Here they go again, the Brazilians. And only really Carioca in the box for the cross, and he wasn't far away. Well, Müller plays the ball in.
That's the second time he's done it, Mike. He's put a fantastic ball in with his left foot. Just teasing, it's just teasing, and if Carioca actually makes any contact with the ball at all, it's in the back of the net, and there's the substitutions being made now. And I think they really do need it.
The man who's come on is Serginho, and the man that's departed is number 6, Felipe. So the first switch is made by Luxemburgo, and that's a goal kick. And Serginho has gone forward to try and add the firepower that's been missing. Free kick given in favour of Jukic for a bit of arm tugging by Müller. Đorović, Jokanović, Stanković, been as good as any player that the Yugoslavs have had, and Antonio Carlos. And Serginho in the end concedes the corner.
He's done well, Stanković, there, but how can he receive a ball unmarked like that? You know, they've got a one-man advantage, the Brazilians, and they don't seem to be picking up too tightly at the back now. They seem to have got a little bit slack. And the 10 men of Yugoslavia, Mike, have been pretty impressive in the second half.
And we're about to see the departure of Rivaldo, I think, as the corner is played in. And the clearance by Cléber from under the bar. Off the referee. Would complete his afternoon if that had gone in the net, wouldn't it? Here's that man Stanković again. And Cafu has conceded another corner. Christian is the man who will go on in a moment. Kovacevic is looking for the space, and Cléber is trying to make sure that he doesn't get it. And he's gone down and nothing given, and he's gone down and nothing been given either. Kovacevic was the man, and the referee said no. And Brazil are living very dangerously, and suddenly they break away. Denilson. Müller was the man, and Serginho out of play. And 2 occasions where Sivadinovic thought he should have seen his men get a penalty. It remains 1-1. So we have 10 minutes left, and Serginho takes the throw for Brazil. and the natives inside the São Luís Stadium, and there are just over 70,000 of them. A touch restless. Lazetic, one of the Yugoslav substitutes for Sakić, another one. And I have to say, Jerry, with 10 minutes left, Yugoslavia have had no luck, and Brazil in the second half have been hugely disappointing.
Yes, they've dropped it down a couple of gears in the second half for me. They've lost their impetus. I think Yugoslavia have been magnificent with 10 men. I think they're very, very unfortunate not to have had at least one penalty kick. They're certainly unfortunate they've had a player sent off. And all in all, if it stays like this, Yugoslavia will go home the happier of the two teams.
Foul was by Antônio Carlos, and the free kick is Yugoslavia's as Brazil prepare to bring on number 17 Rogério and number 19 Alex, who will replace Denilson, and the man replacing Rogério is replacing is Marcos Assunção, number 5. So that's the double switch by Brazil, who have now played 4 substitutes in this match, and only the young striker Jackson, who is highly thought of. There he is warming up to the delight of the crowd here. He's the only one yet to come on, but the signs from Luxembourgo suggest he may well make his appearance before we're finished.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't brought him on by now, Mike, to be honest, because I think that's where they've been disappointed in the last 20 minutes. And as we say that...
You add the gift of being psychic to your other powers, Mr. Armstrong. The man he's coming on to replace is going to be Marcelinho'Zoran, whose goal is all that Brazil have to show. This is Rogério, one of the substitutes. And will Carioca finish his part of the entertainment with a flourish? Rogério again. And the chase back, aimed for Serginho by Dragan Zilic, who's had absolutely nothing to do in the second half. And here now finally comes the substitution. It will do as soon as the ball is out of play. This time, number 20, Christian, caught offside. And that's absolutely right. See that moment the ball is hit. And this boy, Marcelinho'Zoran, is one we will hear more of.
Yes, a star is born there, but disappointed in the last 20 minutes, maybe tired, maybe the occasion was too much for him. He certainly impressed me for the first hour of the game, but I just feel that Brazil have lost their way a little bit in the last 20 minutes, Mike, and haven't really created a clear-cut opportunity.
It's almost since you could point the decline in the Brazil and really the pace and the emotion and the passion, really, back to the sending off.
Could be, you know, the old cliche about 10 men working harder, and certainly the Yugoslavian players have worked tremendously hard tonight, but they've looked comfortable on the ball, and they've created probably the 2 or 3 best opportunities in the second half have been created by Yugoslavia. Jackson
after the ball. Cafu against Stanković, who may well be about to play his last part in the game. I suggest that because Dragan Starac is warming up, and that's really the position he likes to play in. Rogério. Vampeta. Christian. And this might be an opportunity. But again, the ball from Müller. And the punch not decisive by Zilic. Where's that going to end up? Wide. And that was the first real time that Dragan Zilic was under any real pressure in the entire contest. certainly since he's been on since half-time, and Alex's effort, for a moment, I thought might produce late drama.
Sakić flapped at it for me when the cross came in, Mike. He never got a good, clear punch on the ball. You can see now he's coming, he's flapped at it. He was under a bit of pressure, but he's got to get more distance than that. He's got to get the ball out of the penalty area, and I think he's a little bit fortunate to get away with that.
It was the right idea by Alex, just didn't get the direction that he wanted. We're inside the last 5 minutes. Brazil 1, Yugoslavia 1. 2 goals, a sending off, penalties not given. Plenty of talking points and plenty of evidence too to suggest that Vanderlei Luxemburgo has got a lot of work to do to get Brazil back to their best. Cafu, new captain, and the effort was teed up for Jackson, was blocked at the crucial moment. Nudge. Brazil looking to force their way through a Yugoslav rearguard that has coped admirably in the second half.
Well, that's tight. That's a tight decision, Mike.
I was going to wait for you to say that.
Well, I mean, the linesman's got a hard job. He's trying to watch when the ball's being played and when the man's made his run. And I think he was just onside.
And this is the substitute I was mentioning just a couple of minutes ago. Dragan Starac coming on from Obilic. And the man he's replacing is Jovan Stankovic, who's had an excellent game.
He's had a fantastic game. I mean, he must be really tired because he's worked up and down that line tirelessly. He's got back, he's defended, he's got forward, he's put great crosses in. And he's really impressed me tonight, Stankovic.
Well, this is Dragan Starac, who's trying to get the Yugoslavs going. Antonio Carlos makes the clearance. Cléber. And we've got a little more than 3 minutes remaining. (1-1) between Brazil and Yugoslavia. Starac again. Cafu. Jackson. My word, he's quick, isn't he? And the challenge illegal by Jokanović, says the referee. He is, isn't it?
Well, he's positive, he's quick, good change of pace, yeah.
Fire, isn't he?
I think he played for the free kick as well, didn't he? But I think that's what they needed, Mike. You know, they got a little bit quiet and he's injected a little bit of pace into the game for them now.
And the corner is conceded by Jokanović. How do you think he'll feel overall, Luxemburgo?
I think he'll be pleased with their performance in the first half, but I don't think he'll be totally happy about the second half performance. There's some pluses, some highs, and there's some lows, I think, as well.
And a good catch by Zilic. Well, it would be a shame if this match is remembered for the antics of referee Marinho, who's had, in my view, 3 major decisions to make and got them all wrong. But let's talk about the football. Yugoslavia have certainly battled hard.
They have. I've been impressed with Yugoslavia. We know they're a good technical side, but they've worked tremendously hard. It's not easy to come to Brazil, and the Brazilian players were looking to create impression, and I think Yugoslavia have done very well tonight.
And they've still got a bit of defending to do, and that's an important clearance by Đorović, because there was an opportunity, and there might still be with Rogerio. Are we set for some late drama? Jackson looks for Alex, and the clearance gives Brazil a throw, and they must be aware. You see the 3 minutes hand held high by the referee, as the referee's assistant, that the 90 minutes is almost up, and there, in fact, it is up now.
I think for some of the Yugoslavian players, Mike, 3 minutes is too long.
Cafu. And the block by Đorović at the expense of a corner. They have defended well, the Yugoslavs.
Tremendously well.
Let's remember that the Brazilian goal came from a wonderful free kick. Ilić again, almost found wanting by Christian. Well, it was a positive piece of goalkeeping, but it was probably the wrong decision.
I think it was positively wrong. He could never reach that. He's put his defenders up by calling for the ball, and he had bodies in front of him and he never got there. And that's the second time it's happened. But again, he's got to start somewhere, and he's going to have to improve on that, Mike. But it's still 1-1.
Probably still trying to shake off the fatigue of the first 40 minutes, where in this half he had virtually nothing to do except field the odd back pass. Cafu. Brazil looked like paying for having got it wrong in the first half and not taken the chances that they had. Although there is a chance for Christian again.
What a chance.
And Ilić on his knees, and his prayers have been answered.
Well, that's a great ball in, Mike, and I thought they were going to win it here.
Alex has played it through for him.
Super little touch for Alex, and Christian's clear. He's got the goal in front of him, and he's snatched at the shot, and he's not really got hold of the ball. And that's the best opportunity I think they've had in the second half.
Cafu. And again from the ball from Müller. Antônio Carlos. And that's Alex again, who's played the ball down the flank for Rogério. Jorovic's clearance for Yugoslavia. Deep into stoppage time. Jackson again. But a real handful since he's come on. Sidrak. Have a look at the referee's watch. Lazetic for Yugoslavia. Antônio Carlos for Rogério. And the final whistle. The final word, Jerry Armstrong.
Oh, please, Yugoslavia got a draw. I think
listen to the crowd.
Yeah, they're not happy because it wasn't a great second half performance. I think the last 10 minutes when they had fresh legs on with the substitutes, they made a more determined effort and created a couple of very, very good chances. But Yugoslavia created 3 or 4 chances when they only had 10 men, and I think Yugoslavia will go home the happier of the two teams, Mike, to be perfectly honest.
And very, very briefly, the referee.
The referee didn't have a good night. I think the least we say about that, the better. Again, the federation put themselves in the problems by appointing a Brazilian referee for the home game.
So the full-time score: Brazil 1, Yugoslavia 1. Milosevic for Yugoslavia, Carioca for Brazil. Brazil haven't really answered all the questions. From Jerry Armstrong and Mike Vince, a very good evening to you.
Vom Team, das in Paris Vize-Weltmeister wurde, sind heute nur noch Denilson, Cafu und Rivaldo mit dabei. Auch auf der Trainerbank gibt es mit Wanderlei Luxemburgo ein neues Gesicht. Beim ersten Auftritt gegen Ecuador war auch Bayern-Star Giovanni Elber mit von der Partie und das nicht zu knapp. Aber dazu später mehr. Das Spiel fand auf Druck von Hauptsponsor Nike übrigens in Washington statt, sehr zum Unwillen der Fans und Spieler des vierfachen Weltmeisters. Aber die zauberten von Anfang an wie in besten Zeiten schon bald das 1:0 nach einer traumhaften Kombination. Die Spielfreude war wieder da, das konnte man schon von den ersten Minuten an bemerken. Ecuador hatte in den ersten Minuten den Brasilianern da herzlich wenig entgegenzusetzen. Giovanni mit einer Flanke und Giovanni Elber zur Stelle. Der Bayern-Star per Kopf zum 2:0 erfolgreich. Für ihn dieses Spiel ja auch eine Art Comeback. Bei Mario Zagallo hatte er nicht allzu viel zu lachen. Auch der Anschlusstreffer durch De la Cruz änderte nichts am einseitigen Spielverlauf. Brasilien weiterhin klar am Drücker. Cafu dringt in den Strafraum ein, zieht ab und unter gütiger Mithilfe von Ecuadors Torhüter Espinosa das 3:1. Noch einmal schöner Pass auf den Kapitän der Brasilianer und dessen Schuss sicherlich haltbar. Cafu immer wieder im Blickpunkt. Und natürlich auch Giovanni Elber. Von Zagallo, wie gesagt, mit Hohn und Spott bedacht, zeigte der Bayern-Stürmer diesmal, was er wirklich drauf hat. Sein zweiter Treffer in diesem Match. Auch wenn Espinosa im gegnerischen Kasten sicher nicht seinen besten Tag hatte. 4:1 mittlerweile für den Vize-Weltmeister und noch war nicht Schluss. Schöne Vorarbeit von Cafu. Dann der Patzer von Espinosa und Giovanni Elber nützt das eiskalt aus. Und Espinosa beweist wieder einmal, dass er sich vielleicht doch besser einen anderen Beruf gesucht hätte. Als Torwart scheint er nicht mit übermäßig viel Talent gesegnet zu sein. Giovanni Elber war es egal, er kann sich über seinen ersten Dreierpack im Nationalteam freuen. Espinosa rammt seinen eigenen Gegenspieler und Elber hat dann keinerlei Probleme, zum 5:1 Endstand einzuschießen. Der Neuanfang der Brasilianer scheint auf anderem Niveau abzulaufen als der deutschen Mannschaft, aber das war wohl auch nicht anders zu erwarten.
صدور قرار قضائي بحقه لدعوى رفعها أحد مشجعي المنتخب البرازيلي يتهيأ المنتخب الوطني لاجتياز فترة النقاهة. كلف فاندرلي لوكسمبورغ المدرب الجديد بمهمة إعادة تأهيل المنتخب البرازيلي والعودة به إلى أمجاده السابقة. تاريخه كمدير فني في كرة القدم البرازيلية مثير للإعجاب. ولد عام 52 لعائلة فقيرة ولعب في 3 أندية من ضمنها فلامينغو وانترناسيونالي. مهمته التدريبية بدأت عام 81 كمساعد مدرب لأنطونيو لوبيز في نادي فاسكو دي جاما. إنجازاته كمدرب ظهرت بالتحديد وبشكل استثنائي مع بالميراس من خلال فوزه 3 مرات ببطولة بولستا وباللقب البرازيلي مرتين. بفضل شخصيته القوية والانضباط الذي يتمتع به ظهر عام 94 من خلال تجريد المهاجم السريع ادموندو من مركز الجناح لتشجيره مع زميل له في الفريق.
É um momento nobre da minha profissão, né? De uma responsabilidade muito grande. E essa responsabilidade eu acho que tem que viver com...
إنها لحظة شرف في مسيرة حياتي العملية. إنها مسؤولية كبيرة أن نشارك اللاعبين ونفهم أن كرة القدم في البرازيل جزء من تقاليد البلد وأن الجماهير تنتظر الكثير من الفريق. يجب خلق الإحساس بحب الوطن لديهم. يجب على اللاعبين أن يبقوا في بالهم أن كرة القدم ليست مجرد لعبة بل أنهم يمثلون كل بلدهم.
المهمة الأولى له كانت جعل مشجعي المنتخب ينسون أحزان كأس العالم.
O Brasil é dessa forma, se fosse outro país que fosse vice-campeão.
عملية إعادة البناء بدأت فعليا بالنسبة للوكسمبورغو من خلال أول مباراة للبرازيل مع يوغوسلافيا التي انتهت بالتعادل ب1-1. وبعد 10 أيام فازوا على الإكوادور على ملعب RFK في واشنطن. ومن خلال المباراتين اختار لوكسمبورغو تشكيلتين مختلفتين مقارنة بتشكيلة المدرب السابق زاغالو الذي اختار 11 لاعبا قليل الخبرة نسبة إلى زملائهم الذين لهم باع طويل في مجال اللعبة. هناك بعض الوجوه المألوفة مثل ريفالدو واللاعب الماهر دينيلسون، ورونالدو وروبرتو كارلوس كانا في الاحتياط. وكان نجم المباراة اللاعب المهاجم البيير الذي أحرز 3 من أهداف فريقه ال5 مقابل هدف واحد. بالنسبة إلى لوكسمبورغو كان أداء جيدا. المشجعون عادوا يستمتعون بمهرجان احتفالي ربما ظل يلاحق الفريق أينما ذهب. لوكسمبورغو بالتأكيد يعرف تماما أن البلد بكامله يعول عليه وعلى مساعديه من أجل إعداد منتخب لامع متوج بالانتصارات.
É pensamento do nosso país, né? Porque o futebol está enraizado na nossa cultura.
إنه الموقف الذي اتخذته البرازيل. كرة القدم مصهورة في بوتقة تقاليدنا، والبرازيليون يكنون عاطفة كبيرة لكرة القدم. إن دور اللاعبين مهم جدا، بث الأفراح في الناس أو الأحزان. وأعتقد العكس، فحركة الكرة في البلد كبيرة جدا، وعلاوة على ذلك هناك أمور اجتماعية أخرى لا تقل أهمية. يجب التركيز على مسائل مهمة كوزارة الصحة أو وزارة الثقافة والتعليم، وهناك قضايا ومشاكل اجتماعية كثيرة ولا بد من أن يحاط الناس علما بها.
ومع بداية الانتصارات تحت إشرافه هناك ينتظره مستقبل واعد في ظل مهارات المدرب لوكسمبورغو.
من الصعب القول ماذا سيحصل. الفكرة هي تشكيل الفريق القادر على المنافسة، وكذلك لعب الكرة بشكل سحري وجميل، ولكن فوق كل هذا يجب أن يكون اللاعب بمسؤولية، وهذا ما أردت أن أوصله إلى الناس. اللاعبون يجب أن يستمروا في اللعب مدعة كبيرة، لكن عليهم أن لا يتخلوا عن الروح الوطنية، وذلك من خلال اللعب في المنتخب الوطني بالطبع. البرازيل لديها الكثير من المشاكل الاجتماعية، وأعتقد أنه يجب علينا أن نبين من خلال كرة القدم معنى أن تكون برازيليا.